At Home Radio. Creator and presenter, Kate Jones. Music, video, produced by Jonathan, the producer.
Welcome to At Home Radio, a welcoming space for insights, truths, and frivolities. I'm Kate Jones, and today I'm talking to artist Ben Small. Hello, Ben. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
It's great. I've heard you say, Ben, that it's a wonderful thing to create art, and you've been doing just that since you were 3 years old. Would you mind reminiscing about an early time in your life when you picked up a pencil or crayon and just started drawing?
Sure, I will talk about that. Early memory would be when I was in Catholic school, and we had the nuns back then with the habits and the whole bit, and they were very strict. And I drew I think it was a cat, and you know, it was first grade, and the nun just was like, "Wow, look at that cat! That's amazing." Sent me over to another nun across the way. Here's my cat. I did a cat, and they both gave me gold stars and all that. So I got some good feedback from very serious critics. If you've ever had Catholic school, so that was an early thing. That was an early good. You know, good critique there. So
that's great. So how did you feel?
I felt delighted, and you know, this would be the late '60s. I then started drawing more and more, and people said, "Oh, you're the class artist," and so I would draw. Oh, you know, there's a thing where the peace sign was real big then with a flag. It had like flag fingers. And I drew like 300 of those, like for everybody in the school, because they all wanted peace, man, the peace sign. So I became known as the class artist. And then that followed all the way through high school. I did backgrounds for plays and programs and all kinds of different things and that. So, you know.
You've had artist as your identity for a long, long time.
Yeah.
You have developed an interest in quite a number of different styles. Would you talk about those styles a bit?
Well, I think really comparatively, I don't have that many, but you know, I have influences. I had a whole black and white period back in the 1980s. I did all black and white. And it was checkers, and I don't remember the 80s very much, but I tried to be a real hip artist then. And I've got my influences now really are like Art Nouveau. I'm completely devoted to Art Nouveau from you know, the Edwardian period and all that in the early 1900s. And then I 70s art. I do some my idea of hip. 70s art, I'll do that kind of influence in that. So really it's just my youth and things I read, and really it's just anything I enjoy. So yeah, there's a number of different things. I'll have bright colors. I'll have, you know, I'll dim down colors to something very dark. I did a purposefully scary drawing last year called Halloween, and you can barely see it. It's all just so dim and dark. And then for my art show I did in 2019, it was bright colors. You know, I run a day glow, very bright colors in that. So, you know, it's whatever's in my head, and yeah. So that would account for the different styles, I guess.
Great. So you have prints available on your website. Would you describe them?
Well, it's just what I said. It's you know, all the different Art Nouveau influenced, and I do what I would call mechanical, I call them mechanical abstracts, machine-based, very detailed drawings that will have a shape that's, that's not anything. It's not a real machine you could recognize, but it does have machine parts in it. It's kind of hard to describe, but at this point I can show you yeah. This will speak to technique too, but basically I have can you see that?
Wow.
Okay?
Sort of, yeah. There's so much detail.
Yeah, I'm a detail guy. So this is a bird skeleton, but it's also a machine. So all my things are like, height or slash, well, it's a bird, but it's a machine. It's a bird slash machine thing, and then that ends up being, looking like this once I get the color in it.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
You can see that, okay.
And that really pops too.
Yeah.
In the color, yeah.
That's from my 2019 show, and that works with a lot of that's an idea of different looks that I like to have. I like movement. I like swirls. I like Fibonacci spirals, if you're familiar with that term. Nautilus shapes, because I think they move. I think that it shows a motion, unto itself. So that's the kind of thing I go for. So.
Okay. So how do people find you on the web so that they could look at your available prints?
I have a website. It's a free website, so it's got a big long URL. I'm sorry. I wish I could give it to you right here.
We'll have it on the screen, but
great.
But if they just Googled you, they might be able to find you that way.
Yeah, if they Google me, you'll get the more famous Ben Small, who was one of the voices on Thomas the Tank Engine. And then if you hit Ben Small Cleveland, you'll get or Ben Small Art, you'll get my drawings. I also have a Redbubble page if I can plug that too. It's if you're familiar. Are you familiar with Redbubble, Kathy?
I've been to that page. I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, so that's all kinds of tchotchke masks and backs of cell phones and shirts, sweatshirt, all kinds of different tchotchke that all have my designs on it when appropriate. And that's
okay.
A lot of colorful, weird stuff.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have obviously a lot of things going on. You also have produced 3 limited edition books. These are oversized and spiral bound, and they're filled with fanciful illustrations and whimsical prose. Your first book, Cavalcade, I can never say it, Cavalcade of Flight, which came in 2014, has a great testimonial on the back cover, written by someone from junior high, who describes how he thought of himself as the finest up-and-coming artist in the school until he saw one of your works. It was a 6-foot-long drawing that you did of some kind of airship. It was on display. This was the biggest thing that got to him. It was on display in a long case of the school's main hallway. The case is usually reserved for sports trophies, and here was your artwork. He was blown away by the stunning wealth of detail in the drawing, he writes, and he knew he had to seek out this mysterious Ben Small. So please talk about your first encounter with Jeff Bond, who grew up to become an author and the editor of Geek magazine.
Yeah, and he's the soundtrack guru. He is movie soundtracks. He's the king of that. So, this guy could draw and write, and he claims that seeing my drawings, he said, the heck with drawing, I'm going to write. And he became quite a good writer, I'll tell you. But no, that's before we met, and back in those days, I just wanted the most epic, huge, detailed flying. It was actually a clipper ship that flew, and it had these, engines on it and all this sort of thing. So I'm doing practically the same thing now. So I've grown very little since then. But anyhow, yeah, he saw that and he just was like, "What in the world?" So we met and we would draw together, and it was he became my lifelong friend, and so very close. He's sort of like we got the master learner thing, a Star Wars master learner thing. He's so knowledgeable about things, but he's always been a good critic and a good a really good friend to the drawings and all that kind of thing. So
that's wonderful. That was a great testimonial. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he can write. He's a good writer.
Certainly is. You are no slouch either. I like your prose in your books.
Thank you.
Very, very, very fun to read and just evocative in many ways. So
yeah,
really cool.
Right. I don't take it very seriously. I just have fun writing. This looks like this, and I know it's going to back up on my drawings. So but I'm glad you like the writing too. It's a lot of fun. It's just those books are just all delight. Just fun to do and not serious, and
yes, they're really quite wonderful. So you mentioned how you have a lifelong fascination with flying machines, mechanical drawing, science fiction, comic books, animals, and all of these appear in your work in one way or another. Your second book also is about something that you just talked about. Your second book is My Airborne Reveries from 2016, and it reflects your love for Art Nouveau and the Edwardian age. So, I love these drawings so much. They're subtle, they're elegant, they're just beautiful.
Thank you.
And that's very different from, I think it's very different from the mechanical drawing and the wild, fantastical machine animal things. So is this this style that you are obviously drawn to a different side of Ben Small?
No, it's another part of the same thing. That's interesting because that book is on purpose softer and dreamier, because it's about these flying machines called aerobuoyants that I actually had a dream about. And it's one of those things where I before drones were around, I had a dream I was flying around this, Edwardian space, the ship, that ship with all the floors on, the decks on it, and just the whole thing. And I had a very detailed dream about that. And I woke up and I still have the sketch. I scribbled a sketch of it, and, just did the whole thing. And I became obsessed with this. And I just did a podcast that I wrote a story kind of based on an aerobuoyant there too. So, but that all fits into the Art Nouveau and all that kind of dreamlike early 1900s day. So it's this idealized world,
Oh, I just love that. I wonder if you kind of, you did time travel in your dream. You actually went there and then you came back and then created this art.
I was just flying around it in that dream. I was like, wow, I really like this machine, whatever it is. It's really, really cool. So yeah, I woke up and I've been drawing it ever since.
Oh, that's terrific.